Hey guys, so I wanted to come on real quick and talk about some revelations that I've received. So if you saw my previous video, you see that I'm working on a new project. It has to deal with growing up without a father or fatherlessness. Um, and as I've been working on the project, I have been going through a lot of emotional stuff. And I kind of wanted to tell my story and my background so that you kind of understand where all this comes from. So obviously, I grew up without my biological father. Obviously, I know who he is. I'm sure a lot of people know who he is. But just having him every day in my life, or even on a yearly basis, it was just pretty much non-existent. And my story has always been it did not affect me because honestly, looking back, it never felt as though it affected me. It wasn't something that I thought about a whole lot. It wasn't something that I could contribute to problems or anything like that. I just never felt um, this disconnect or disconnection from not growing up with my father. Me personally, I never felt that way. So, um, a bit ago, I was going through something. Obviously, everyone knows that I'm divorced. So just getting back out into the dating field is a whole thing. So just kind of going through that and navigating that and really never being in that situation because I was with my ex-husband on and off, pretty much more so on from the time I was 18. So I didn't have a lot of experience, and I still don't have a lot of experience when it comes to dating. So there's just like some mental things that you have to do when dating. You have to understand that not everyone is gonna like you, and you aren't going to like everyone. Um, some people will, let you know that. Some people will not. And then you have this ghosting thing. You will be ghosted and you may ghost other people. It just depends on the situation, and you have to mentally suit yourself up for that, especially if it's something that you're not used to. So going through that, I kind of was starting to feel this urge of rejection. And with rejection comes a lot of other different things. So, me being who I am, I'm a researcher. I started looking into the psychology of rejection. What does that mean? And not just the psychology of it, but I also started praying and asking God, like, what is this? What am I feeling? Um, why does this seem so difficult? What's going on? So, as I began to pray about it, my prayer is always, God, reveal myself to me. God, show me the things that I need to know. Show me the things that I need to learn about myself. So I prayed about it a few times, and I recall the last significant time, which brought upon all of this. I just heard God say, "My Father," and for whatever reason, I immediately thought of my biological father, and I'm like, okay, what does that mean? So I began to pray more about it and explore more into it, and that's kind of how this whole project came about. So as I was writing yesterday, it was as though like every sentence I wrote, I was having a breakdown. And I'm like, whoa, like what is this? Um, so it was just like a long emotional day for me. But the ironic part was sometimes we can have emotions and they'll come up and we don't understand fully what it's about. So as I went into prayer this morning and I just been kind of like thinking about things all day, uh it came to me that sometimes your wounds and the impact of something can be so detrimental to you to God will hide you from it. So here I am going through life thinking that a person that gave birth to me, whom I have half of their DNA, and according to my mother, a lot of their ways. I was naive enough to think that it didn't it didn't matter. It's never bothered me. It's not a big part of my life. It just, that just does not affect me. So I was naive enough to think through my entire life. I'm 30 something now. So I was naive enough to think through my entire life that, this part of my life, I've been completely unaffected by it. And that is just full on not true. So as I continue the project and I continue to do things and I continue to work through things, I realized that it may have been one of the most impactful things of my life. Just from the way I navigate men, the way I navigate relationships, the way I think about myself, all of these things that I've had to overcome, which I write about in my first book, but all of these things I've had to overcome can be directly correlated to the fact that I did not have my father. And that goes down there's so many avenues of that. So that was just my revelation in today, that God has hidden me from that pain because the pain was so deep and it affected me so much. So moving forward, my advice or encouragement today is to really pray and ask God to reveal those hurting places for you so that you can heal them, because you could be navigating through life and doing things a certain way and not understanding why you're doing it a certain way because you have some deep embedded pain that that hasn't surfaced, or that hasn't come up, or just things that you're refusing to deal with. So anytime there's a pain or hurt there or a wound there that we're refusing to deal with or heal, it is going to affect your life. It may not impact your day every single day, but overall, in essence, it is gonna impact or affect your life. And that is, there's some things that only God can heal. There are some things that only you can take to God in prayer. It's not for everybody. It's not to talk about with everyone. And there's timing for everything as well. So there's plenty of things that I've gone through in my life. There's things that I'm still not willing to talk about. There are things that I thought I would never be able to talk about, and I've made videos about them. So everything comes in time. God will reveal himself in time. God will show you your hurts and your pains in time. You just have to be in a mental space. You have to be in a spiritual place, and definitely an emotional place, to really begin to work through those things. So that is it today, guys. I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your day. And I love you. Have a great day.